Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jeremy. This is Jeremy Rewinds, and today we're going over Turbografx.
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro games and
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy. This is Jeremy Rewinds, and today we are doing yet another perspective in the game room. I'm trying to figure out how to make the background look a little blurry, make the lighting look good, give you guys that feel that I want when I watch like a nice YouTube video. Has a good feel to it. And I've modified and changed, and I've sat and I've stood and I've had tables and all kinds of stuff. Hopefully you like this one, because so far I think it looks pretty good. But let's go over Turbografx. Now, real quick, Turbografx is one of those consoles that I never had as a kid. In fact, when I was a kid, I don't know if I even heard about Turbografx.
Introducing Turbografx 16, the next generation video game system. It's 4 times faster, so the games are more exciting. There are almost 10 times as many colors, so the arcade quality graphics are even more intense. And you can expand your system with a CD player for CD games with sound effects that are turbocharged. Turbografx 16 from NEC, the higher energy video game system.
Turbografx is a console that was very obscure way back in the day. 16-bit graphics, so we're talking like somebody that would compete with like the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, that kind of era. And it's a very obscure cart-based. Think of it, well, you're going to see in a minute. If you've never seen one of the Turbografx carts before, and I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you've probably watched people like Pixel Game Squad, Phoenix Resale, Retro Rick, all the guys that I love to watch. I'm sure you've seen it, because I know, for example, on Pixel Game Squad, I know they've picked up Turbografx stuff before. Turbografx cartridges look like really, really big Nintendo Switch cartridges. So if you're wondering what it looks like, we're going to get into that in a minute here. But again, this is a console that didn't last very long, but it's such an obscure console that it goes for big money. Not all the games, of course. Some of the games you can pick up for $20 and so, but there's a lot of them that are around $100 a game. 150, 200, 300, one game. I can't remember what it is. I think it's called Magic Chef or something like that. It is the grail for the Turbografx. If I'm not mistaken, that's the name of it. So you can tell me in the comments I was wrong. I believe an authentic copy is $10,000 for one of those things, if I'm not mistaken, based on price charting the last I looked, because at the time of filming this, I had just picked these things up from my guy Joe, who owns and runs 3 video game stores in the Orlando, out on the coast in Melbourne, Palm Bay area. And I'm going to tell you, it's an amazing opportunity to be able to have these in the collection. I figured one day, yes, I'll get it, but I'm going for so many sets. There's so many sets. I mean, I really want to finish the NES set. I really want to finish my Sega Genesis set. I'm just started. I don't know if you'll see the video or not, but I'm going to tell you, obviously there is a huge Sega collection that I purchased from a guy in Michigan. So much of it stayed in the collection, upgraded some, and I'm selling off the rest. But because of that, I acquired a Sega Master System. Never really wanted one. Then I started looking at it, playing it. I'm like, wow, this is actually really fun. Guess what? Now I gotta look for Sega Masters. Sega CD was something I always wanted as well. I have a Sega CD now. I have the Tower of Power. So excited to have that. But I have a Sega CD, and just recently I will drop the ball into this one because I'm going to do the video today, and hopefully it will come out before this. It just depends on whether or not I'm making any sense. Is a Panasonic 3DO. Now, if you have never heard of the Panasonic 3DO, there are 3 different variations of the console itself. But again, it's one of those weird, obscure, around the Sega CD kind of time period where everybody was going with FMV, full motion video. There's a lot of games that are on the system that are good. There's a lot of games that are on the system that are trash. And there's a lot of games that are on the system that are just weird, where like Space Ace, for example, is one of those games that came with my 3DO when I purchased it. I popped it in, I hit play, and guess what? You got to push left, right, up, down, A, B, C. You got to push one of these buttons, and you're guessing. At least I'm guessing. I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong, but you're like, oh, you got to dodge the bad guy's bullet, so you got to push right. Well, I didn't know I needed what to do. I actually had to look up a YouTube video on this thing. So if you've never played an FMV video game, understand that it's one of those things of where it was like mostly you're watching a movie than you actually are playing a game, and you're just slightly interacting with it. A good example in today's day that you have a lot of FMV in, if you've never played before for the Sega CD, it's also been re-released by Limited Run on PS4, is Night Trap. That's a lot of FMV in there, and you can just go through and get a somewhat of an example. Sewer Sharks is another one for Sega CD if you've never played it. I have that on my Sega CD and so on and so forth. So anyways, let's get into Turbografx. All right, here's my tub. This tub is loaded with games, and it is a not cheap tub. I got a decent price because I bought it all. There are 29, 30, I don't know, there's over 30 games maybe in here. At the timing of filming this thing, I don't even have a console yet. Oh, I don't even have a console. I have to find a console. There is a guy here in Florida who has a Turbografx with a bunch of games, and he wants, I think, a decent price for it. Problem is, from where I'm located in the Central Florida, Orlando area, he's 3+ hours away. We'll just say 3 hours for argument's sake, because it's really not that much more than 3, but we'll say 3. 3 hours there, 3 hours back, that's 6 hours. If I got to take a Saturday to go do this, I just don't want to commit that much time. And he said he would ship it. Good. Problem with him saying I'll ship it was he wanted me to pay via Zelle or Cash App, and I said I don't trust those. People try to scam you on those, and it is what it is. So if he still has it in a couple weeks, I may end up just biting the bullet and driving down. Otherwise, I'm going to look on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, wherever, and I really want to try to find a boxed console. I'm good with a loose one if it's really cheap. But if I'm going to spend a couple $100s on a loose one, I might as well spend $300-400 on a boxed one. I just don't see the point otherwise, especially when you're already committing to that. And I've already committed to this. So let's get into the pickup. First one is, see if you can see that okay. I don't want to like do a bad thing. Turrican, if that's how you say it. So Turrican, these are how they come. They're like in CD cases, but they're really not, because the back is just like this. They probably came in like a slip cover of some kind. But Turrican is the first one that's in the lot, and if you open it up, bam, 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 and this front, just like any other CD, like a PlayStation 1 game or whatever, these are all your directions. This is your manual, and again, you can probably change the front of these out, because looking at it, like this one's got a crack in it, but I'm looking at it and I'm telling you, this is just a CD case front. It's the back that's unique. So there's the giant switch cart, basically has this little plastic tab that holds it in place. They come in a little protective sleeve, and boom, out comes the game, and there you are right there. Let's see if I can get that to focus on. Look at that, Turrican. Yeah. It's a gigantic switch cart. That's all it is. Here's the back of it, Turbografx 16. I don't know. We're going to find out if it's any fun. I hope it is. I've been looking at a lot of footage, more so since I purchased this, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be worth having. It's one of those things that I really did not plan on getting right away, obviously, but I'm stoked, nevertheless. So we got Turrican. The rest of these we're going to kind of go a little bit faster through. We've got Bonk's Revenge. And again, I'm going to pop this open so you can see. There you are right there with your little cart. Next one we have, I can't even pronounce it. Newtopia. I don't know. It's a dragon and an axe warrior and I don't know. Newtopia. Next, we have Silent Debugger. So there you go, Silent Debugger. That's it's kind of a creepy looking alien on the front of that thing. Look at that. Yeah. Anyways, I went through all these already. But Yo Bro. It's called Yo Bro. It's like a bear with a slingshot on a skateboard with a piranha plant eating behind him. this rat or whatever that's cool looking rat is like, nah, don't run me over. Then we have Bonk's Adventure. Bonk's Adventure is like, I think this is it's a pretty pricey game on the NES, but on this, it's not a super pricey game. It's more of a, somewhat of a common game, I would say. There are other Bonk's Adventures that are more expensive. Like Bonk's Revenge, I think, is a little bit more expensive. Another one that is a somewhat of a decent game, Alien Crush. Look at all those eyes and teeth. Next up we have, I don't know, we have, I can't even read it, Arrow Blasters. From there we have Sonic Spike, not Sonic the Hedgehog. Next up, we've got Ninja Spirit. Then we have Legendary Axe 2. Not to be outdone. Oh, look at that. Raiden. Raiden's a fun game. I played Raiden on other consoles. Ooh, look at that. Victory Run. The edges of these are just like really trash. It's just a sticker, and obviously you can see the sticker wants to kind of like peel up there, so I'm sure a little bit of well-placed glue, it'll be okay. JJ and Jeff. Who in the world? JJ and Jeff. I don't know. Next we have Night Creatures, and I know there's some duplicates in here, just so you know, because I bought the entire lot. So some of these, so far I don't think I've come across a duplicate yet. You saw Legendary Axe 2. This is Legendary Axe. It's like this gigantic spider. Such graphics. This is what I'm talking about. When I talk about graphics on like cards and games, and okay, this one's kind of a bad example. Dungeon Explorer, it's kind of blah, it's a dude with a girl, there's a castle in the background. But let's go back to Legendary Axe for a minute. Look at that spider, the dude. I mean, it's just, you don't see that in modern games. Vigilant, or Vigilante, whatever, I don't know. He's like in a shop of some kind. I don't know. Victory Run. I thought I just saw a Victory Run. Oh, I did. There's 2 copies. See, this is what I'm talking about. So there's 2 copies. So I'll keep the better of the 2, obviously, and then the other one will just adios amigo. Keith Courage. There are a few copies of this in here. I expect Keith Courage, if I'm not mistaken, this is a pretty cheap game. This might be the one I was talking about that's kind of like a $20 game. If you look on eBay, fell out. Pretty regularly goes for like 20 bucks. So, you know, I might just drop them down. Here's another copy of it. I'm just going to list my duplicate copies as, you know, probably like 15. Something a little under market just to get rid of them. TV Sports Football. Even the sports games have some okay value to it, believe it or not. TV Sports Hockey. Fantasy Zone. We have yet another 3rd copy of Keith Courage. I think this was the nicer one of all of them. I don't remember. But in either case, there's 3, 2 to go. This one did not have the manual. This is called Tricky Kick. If you can see that or not. Trying to hide my face. I don't know. It's not showing. So let's just pull it open. Right there. Tricky Kick. So I'd have to find the manual for that one. And who knows if I'll find the manual for it or not. But if I don't find the manual for it, then I'll just rebuy it and sell it off as a partial loose. It's because it's not CIB, it doesn't have the manual. TV Sports Basketball. Our last CIB is Bloody Wolf. Yeah. And then we have a couple of loose ones here. Can't really see what they are, but the first one is, we'll pull it out. This one is called Ice to Ice or something like that. I think it's basically a hockey game. I'm sorry. Hit the Ice. That's what that one's called. And then our other loose one, which I was actually surprised, it says Action Kung Fu, if you see right there. But if you look really close, that right there, and if you look up here, it says Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. So I'm not sure if there are, I don't know. I looked it up on eBay. Obviously, I'm going to keep the loose ones because who knows when I'll find a CIB version of it. I'm not going to go out and just buy a CIB and sell the loose one off. I'll wait until I get it because there's so many other things to buy. But that completes this video. This is the Turbografx video. Oh, one more thing that I picked up. Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is now in the collection. It is minty. It is CIB. And that completes all of my Silent Hill games. Because of Galaxy Games and having such a fire selection of games, definitely go check them out. They are, like I said before in the other videos, they are an amazing group of guys. Mickey, Matt, and Miguel are the guys that work at the 3 different locations. But because of Joe and his guys, I've completed all of the Silent Hill games far sooner than I wanted to because these are not cheap games. I don't know what it is about horror games. People just love them. I don't get down with them a whole lot. But when you're going for a full set, you kind of need to buy them eventually. So, that said, we'll see you guys next time right here on Jeremy Rewinds. And don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe?
Is that a joke?
Don't forget. And we'll see you guys right here next time on Jeremy Rewinds. Tell me down below, what do you think of the Turbografx? What do you think of Silent Hill? And if you go and visit these guys, or if you know these guys, tell me your experience. I would love to be able to push more business their direction. Absolutely phenomenal group. So we'll see you guys next time right here on Jeremy Rewinds.
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro games and